Hello, my skating peoples. We just wrapped the first stop of the Grand Prix series. Yes, the Grand Prix de France in Angers was absolutely flippin' incroyable. And I do mean flippin'. Everybody was risking their necks doing a back flip. So Simone Biles, if you do indeed want to come to figure skating, there is clearly a place for you. It was douche d'argent for Canadians Stellato-Dudek and Deschamps. The Japanese women sweep the podium, led by a Grand Prix ingenue. Ilia Malinin remains intouchable, and ice dance better watch out because Fournier Boudry and Cizeron are here. Maintenant, ici. Coming with me to recap what we witnessed this weekend is the Countess of Counters, Caitlin Osmond. Caitlin, thank you for coming back. How are you?
Good. How are you, Asher?
I'm fantastic, and I don't know if you saw last week on our post for the preview. Someone said that they absolutely loved your skating, and if you came back, you'd be top 3 in the world easy. So when's the comeback happening?
Good question. You want to watch me skate now?
Sure, I would love it.
Great.
No, you couldn't pay.
Competition.
Yeah, you couldn't pay me $1 million to do a run through. I assume you're the same.
Not a free program. I still do show programs, but they stay at a short program length.
Absolutely. Nothing over 2.5 minutes, please, and thank you. All right, Caitlin, shall we get into it?
Of course.
All right, let's start off with the pairs. Your medalists, world champions from Japan, Mura and Kihara take the gold. Silver goes to Canadians, Stellato-Dudek and Deschamps, and bronze goes to Hungarians, Pavlova and Sviatchenko. And I want to give a shout out to the Hungarians. Their programs this year are so well choreographed. It's something that they've been lacking, in my opinion. And so I think they've really kept themselves up in the conversation with those top teams. They for sure pushed the Canadians here. But now onto our winners. Taking it with a smile as always, Riku Mura and Roichi Kihara. 2 strong skates for them. They beat the Canadians by over 20 points. And Caitlin, it was strong, but there were these slight mistakes that are significant if they want to stay competitive with the other pair teams throughout. And it's those side-by-side triple toes. Riku, I think for their whole career, has struggled with not landing cleanly. And in the free program, the Gladiator free program, it was, again, a Q and 2 single axles. What did you think of their skate here in France?
Well, I always just love watching them skate just from their positivity. They're so exciting, and you just want to feel great for them because they feel great on the ice, it looks like, anyways. But what I really like about their program and their attitude going into the season is that after their competition in the preseason at Challenger Series, they had two mistakes in the second half of their free program. And they said that their only goal is to make it so that those mistakes are erased, which they did, they accomplished, but then of course then there's other mistakes that are gonna happen. But that's kind of part of the Olympic season, is that you don't wanna peak too early because it's a long season, a lot of pressure. So just learning from each mistake and then getting better, I think that's what's gonna lead them into continuing being stronger throughout the year.
I completely agree. So let's talk Canadians. Maxime Deschamps and Deanna Stellato-Dudek, they absolutely dazzled and wowed the crowd in Angers with that backflip. And Caitlin, I think they listened to us because we talked about how it's not as seamless and we don't know if we really love it. I think they did it really well here. What did you think of the backflip this time in the step sequence?
I'm getting closer to enjoying it. We're inching closer each time. I do think going out of the backflip, they've definitely made it more seamless. Going into it, I don't think there's a seamless way to get into a backflip, but I've also never skated with a partner or have done a backflip. So I don't know.
I would completely agree. I would have a 20-second setup and then be like, no, not yet. But also, apparently, according to ISU, they are the first pair team to do a backflip. I feel like I've seen a Chinese team do it. It might have been a Chinese national event, so maybe not international, but we'll take the credit for them, of course. The free program, however, was not as good. It went from Olay to oh no. Their very first element, a planned triple twist, was singled after Deanna clipped his foot on the takeoff. And then the jump sequence, and then it just kind of kept going and unraveling from there. They really fought and they held on, but they only scored a 123 in here. And we know that to be at the top in the conversation for those Olympic medals, which they've been very upfront about wanting, you need to be in like the 140s.
Yeah, exactly. And thinking about that mistake on the twist right off the top of the program, that twist, when they do it well, is over 6 points. The base value for it is 6 points. And then the base value for a popped twist, essentially is what it was because she didn't rotate, is 1.3. So starting off your program knowing that you already made this major mistake that is completely uncharacteristic and never happens, how do you refocus when there's really very little time to refocus? And that is something that needs to be trained because it is figure skating and mistakes happen. Ice is slippery, whatever you want to think about it. But you need to be able to incorporate that training and make sure that the mistakes don't continue accumulating. And when there already is a bit of issues on their side-by-sides, I kind of hold my breath on their side-by-side jumps sometimes. You can't let it happen.
For sure. And speaking of time, they have a week. They will be at Skate Canada, where where all of Canada's top teams will be competing. So they will have to absolutely pull it together. And we know them. I think they will. And Skate Canada seems to always be the place where they deliver a good performance. All right. So let's head on to the ice dance. Oh my goodness. Taking the gold from France, the newly formed team Fournier, Boudry, and Cizeron. Silver medal goes to Great Britain's Fear and Gibson, and bronze goes to Lithuania's Reed and Amber Levichis. The Lithuanians had a kind of sad ending to the year, but they look so good and comfortable and revitalized and ready to take on their Olympic spot that they gained at the skate to Milano. But let's get into the big story. Yeah, we knew it was gonna be a shakeup, but god dang, Fournier, Boudry, and Cizeron, their rhythm dance started off with a fall. In the character step sequence. They were third after that, and as Guillaume said, I up. He used the real word. I like that kind of a poignancy. And they were 6 points behind Great Britain. They had a different piece of music, but they went with Vogue for the rhythm dance for this competition. What did you think of their rhythm?
The rhythm, you can tell that it's new in my opinion. I'm not 100% sold on it yet, only because it still looks like there's a lot of thinking involved. And in my opinion, there's a lot of things that I like about it, but there's also a side of it where I find that they are showing that they're a new team. They haven't really skated together all that much in comparison to other teams. So to me, though the program is a lot of fun, I find that they're kind of competing against each other in the one program. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. When you have a new team, again, you move slightly differently. I think they've come together very well, but there are moments where it's a little grabby. You don't have the innate sense of, I know where my partner is because I've been skating with them for 14 years and then, oh, they're over there. Like they don't have that yet. But that being said, I found it pretty good. I actually didn't like the rhythm dance when I saw it at French Masters, but they changed the music. It's less pretentious. It's something that is more tangible with the Vogue Madonna. So I liked it. Now, the free dance to the Whale soundtrack. It was breathtaking. That's all I can say. It was breathtaking. Every moment, every arm had its purpose. They almost manipulated the music. Of course, this is like signature Guillaume style when he skated with Gabriella. So I think it was smart to go with something that they know. And Laurence, to me, has always been a superstar. And so I think putting them together, this just made sense. I was gagging for that double curve lift. The positions look simple, but you know they're difficult, but they use it so effectively. And you know, they were 6 points back. They scored a 133 in their free dance. For context, that is 2 points higher than what Madison Chalk and Evan Bates scored at Worlds this previous year. So they made a statement. And what do you think of the free dance, and what do you think their other competitors are saying as they're watching this and seeing the result?
I also love their free dance. I love the way both of them move, and I find it's very fluid and it went by so fast. Like the music started and it just I don't think I even blinked for 4 minutes. But looking at that and comparing it to what other skaters are feeling, they already know that, well, Guillaume has the experience and he's been on every podium out there, has won probably every podium out there. Um, so it's exciting to see how that's going to continue throughout the season because this is still really early, not even in the programs, but in their partnership in general. So that is only going to improve the more you get into the season. So a little terrifying.
Yeah, again, it is a little terrifying because again, they still didn't max out on everything. And speaking, we touched on Gabby a little bit, but she did put out a statement after this event, kind of clarifying that often when they talk about her no longer skating, it's because she wanted to focus on shows. She was clarifying that it was because the skating environment that she was in was unhealthy. She was exhausted mentally and physically. And that she wanted to really focus on making a safe sport for future skaters. We can speculate on everything that she means. Maybe all is not right in paradise at IM, but breakups are hard, they're contentious, and all clubs have their drama, but we know that this couple coming together was had a little bit of infamy behind it. But let us know in the comments what you think of Gabby's Instagram posts. Okay, so let's head on to Great Britain's Lila Fear and Lewis Gibson. Loved the rhythm dance, Spice Girls, and the rhythm dance gave them what they wanted, what they really, really wanted, a first place in that segment. Now, did you watch Spice World growing up?
I sure did.
Oh my God, how
Over and
badly
over
did you
again.
want a Union Jack tour bus?
Obviously, especially with all the plushies and decorations. That's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, absolutely great. Didn't even know they could come like that. Yeah, so it was a very fun program, and for both programs, they kind of kept it UK hun. The free dance was a Scottish jig to 1,000 Miles by the Pretenders, ending with All Lang Syne. Happy New Year's to us, I guess. But I didn't like the free dance. What did you think?
I think it's something completely different for them in a way. They're very entertaining skaters. They are really great at character pieces, and I think that's why their rhythm dance stands out so well with Spice Girls. It's a way for the entire audience to get engaged because who doesn't know Spice Girls at this point? And it's super fun. And then their free dance, while it still has that upbeat energy, especially towards the end, and it still has that entertainment value, I do find it's a lot more stiff and almost looks uncomfortable until that last chunk of music.
Yeah, I would agree. There's just a lack of change of hold. It doesn't have the complexity that I would want from a team that is now contending for medals. But speaking of a podium, let's talk about who wasn't there. Italy's Charlène Guinard and Marco Fabri. They were fourth at this competition, as low as fifth in the rhythm dance, and getting scores that they haven't gotten since, I quickly looked it up, since like 2018, 2019. They were absolutely decimated in their PCs. GOEs were very stingy. They haven't even commented yet about how upset they were and about this event. They left the kiss and cry, as you know, is a fine. It seems like they're kind of being left behind. Last season, they almost didn't even finish the Grand Prix circuit. So I'm wondering what will happen this season.
Yeah, it's really upsetting when you know how much work you put into your own skating, what goes on behind the scenes, and when you get the scores that you're just not expecting, that takes a hit to anyone. So maybe once they've cooled down a little bit more, go back, watch their videos, maybe they'll have a different change of heart. But it's also really hard to not get what you're wanting.
Yeah, for sure. And we will see them at the Grand Prix NHK. Now, let's head to the women. I think this is one of my favorite stories of the past weekend. Taking the gold medal, Ami Nakai of Japan. Second, well, they're all Japanese. Second, taking the silver, Kaori Sakamoto. And bronze goes to Rion Sumiyoshi. And Ami Nakai, absolutely incredible. Her first ever Grand Prix. And not only does she win, she beats the three-time world champion. What did you think of Ami Nakai's Grand Prix debut?
I have not seen her skate before. I guess I just was oblivious to the Junior Grand Prix circuit for a while. But watching her compete was completely mind blowing. I think she is one, absolutely adorable. Can listen to her music really well. Her short program really suited her, I find, in that way. And of course, probably one of the better triple axels out there. So not only does she have the musicality, but she also has this technical ability and the typical Japanese I know how to skate and great skating skills all over the place because they're always my favorite.
Oh, me too. Me and Dylan used to talk about the Japanese. So soft skaters. But let's talk about Queen Kaori. This is her farewell tour, hence the Andre Bocelli Time to Say Goodbye short program. This was a good event for her. She skated two strong programs, a little iffy in the short bits, which is what makes Ami Nakai's win over her even more inspiring. You beat the queen when she was in rare form. You know, she's talked about she's aiming for gold at all these events, gold at the Olympics, gold at the final. So what do you think are her chances? And I mean, no shock to probably you and I, the biggest contenders and the people who are kind of maybe spoil it for her are coming from the House of Japan. And there's 6 more women on the Grand Prix circuit we have not seen yet.
Japanese skaters are incredible, and it's definitely not going to be a breeze for Kaori this year. But what she has is the experience. She already has 3 world championship titles, and she's already been on the podium at the Olympics. So she has that experience to help back her up. That being said, it's also hard to compete knowing it's your last year because you want to go out with all these amazing, incredible feelings. And sometimes when you're trying to aim for that, it makes mistakes. And even in her free program, great free program, but then she made 2 very big mistakes on the last 2 spins, getting a V, if you look at the sheet, on her 2 combination spins, her flying combination spin. And that's a lot of points lost just in that. And yeah, so added stress with knowing that it is her last year, but she also has that experience to back up and knowledge that she's leaving Japan in a good state.
Yeah, you know what? There's so many great Japanese skaters. You just be like, who do I root for without feeling bad about either? And, you know, she never feels bad about rooting for her teammates, which is why we love her so much. Okay, let's head on to our last event. The men, our medaling men with the gold, of course, USA's Ilia Malinin. Silver goes to France's Adam Xiaohim-Fa, and Georgia's Nika Igazzi picks up his first ever Grand Prix medal with the bronze. Okay, let's first talk about the comeback kid, l'enfant de retour, Adam Xiaohim-Fa. He does not like making it easy on himself ever. Like, famously coming from 19th at 2024 Worlds, yeah, to bronze last year, 9th to 4th. Caitlin, like, did you ever get inspiration and strength from coming back from short program Hades?
Yes. My last Worlds, actually, I had to make a comeback. Apparently, it's a lot easier to skate when you're trying to make a comeback. And Adams made that really clear because, well, one, the 19th place to 3rd, I think, is by far the most wild thing to do at a world championship of all. Like, maybe a small club event, but a world championship, that is completely unheard of.
And he also still took the deduction on the backflip at that world championship. He was like, I don't care. What? Insane.
But then I think the rules kind of changed because of that, because now you can do them legally.
Yeah.
But he is so incredible, and the way he interprets music is really cool. But I find he actually does so much better when the short didn't go well. It's like it takes all pressure off, and all he can do is go out and have fun and enjoy it and do whatever he wants. And usually that works in his favor.
It definitely keeps it entertaining. It stresses me out, and I really love the construction of the programs this year. The complementary, kind of what he did last year, creation of heaven and earth, and now it's like the creation of Adam. It's really cool. Check them out together, back to back. Okay, let's talk about the other half of this bromance. Ilia Malinin, quad master, back flipper, skating innovator, and now
You are
spoken word
something.
poet and recording artist.
But not
Yeah, he
nothing.
skated to a voiceover that he did himself in the free program. I guess there's nothing more
Past
soothing
is not a
than
chain.
your own voice, and he just ran away with this competition.
Pull it,
40-point lead.
it may lead you
It
home.
seems to be kind of the norm for him, and you know, maybe after this he'll become like a Moby or something like that. I don't know, but is he untouchable at this point now, Caitlin?
When he skates like that, yes.
Begin.
And he still had room for improvement because he left out his quad axel at this event and stuck with a triple, which is wild for me to say. It's just like, yeah, he just didn't do it.
Yeah, he only did
But
5 quads.
they look like doubles. I actually had to triple watch his short program because I thought his quad flip at the beginning was a double. But he actually said he was nervous this time for one of the first times. And he had to rely on muscle memory. And when you've already had that experience and knowledge and confidence the way he has that, it's easy to rely on that muscle memory, or easier to rely on that muscle memory. But if that's him skating nervous, I'm curious what it's like if you're skating without nerves or an excitement.
You know, I don't know. And he's still pushing himself. Like his raspberry twist is now incorporated into his spins. His backflip is coming off of like a cluster in his step sequence. He is just constantly pushing and innovating. I just don't know. And then also, I don't know if you saw, there was a video of him talking about landing quints in practice. He doesn't have them on video, but he's done them. Like what? What?
I feel like he has it on video. I don't believe that you're trying quints and your phone or something is not set up on the side of the boards. So I do believe if he is trying them, there is a video. And he did let on that he has something exciting to show after the Olympic season, but leaving out that quint that it may or may not exist. I don't know, prior to the Olympics because I think there's more important things to focus on.
Yeah, agreed. And you know, we will see him at Skate Canada, which is in a week's time. My God, I just don't know where the ceiling is for that man. All right, so Caitlin, our last little thing. You're a coach. I also coach, choreograph. When my skaters do something great, I will be like, yes, ma'am. Doesn't matter gender. It's ma'am for me. It's a neutral term. Caitlin, do you have words of affirmations you say to your students when they do something great?
I think mine is usually just great job, chickadee.
Okay, I love
Sometimes
that.
they're chicken nuggets, sometimes they're popcorn. It changes by the day and probably what I'm wanting for dinner.
I was just gonna say, sounds like you're really snacky. Okay, so what was your good job chickadee slash yes ma'am of the Grand Prix de France?
The women's event was by far my standout for me. One, for being a women's skater myself. I'm always a little bit biased towards that event. But Ami Nakai really, really impressed me. Probably because I didn't know her before this, and that was my first hello to her. And I'm really excited to see what else she has. And she's also going to be at Skate Canada. So I'm excited.
Yes, I have to say Ami Nakai is also my yes, ma'am. That Lestrada short program I watched multiple times. There was also the cute moment with her and Kaori on the podium. Kaori kind of being the big sister, taking her around. It was so adorable. I cannot wait to see what this woman does. And after winning this, it gave her the confidence to say that she is indeed aiming for an Olympic spot. What an event. Wow. These skaters really set the tone for the rest of the Grand Prix. Tell us your yes ma'ams in the comments. We will be back next week to recap the Cup of China. There are no Canadians there, but we will see the return of Sui and Han. And of course, you can watch that all and must watch it all on CBC Gem starting October 24th. That's it from me and Caitlin. Caitlin, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody, get out of here. Take care of each other.